Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be my showcase on Gooker. He got the gobbledygooker. He got a slight rework, so he's usable now. I'm going to have 3 different build sets for you guys, with and without gear on all of them. And yeah, so it's basically going to be 6 versions. Actually, it's 5 because one is only usable with gear. So we're going to have 2 build sets that work with and without gear, and then the 5th one, which only works with gear, but I thought was kind of interesting. So the big thing, he's a coach, Rainbow 75% more move damage, which is useful on a few people, in particular, namely like Hip Hop Cena, he's great on. Mommy, move damage set, great on. Zombie Bailey is another one, and Kamala, another one. Those are some of the ones that come to mind. Also, if you want to use something like Haku or Axe's move damage set, you would want him. There's been more lately where the move damage is a little bit better. So he's a pretty solid coach. Anyway, we're going to use 100% gem damage strap Fury 2s for all of this. And the first move set we're going to take a look at. Oh, let me also show you this moment is a feud only moment. It does jack all for him. His move damage is so low that his move damage gear and also the purple move damage in the feud means nothing. Blast gems mean nothing, and red means nothing for him. So none of that does him hill of beans. Good. As far as the gears go, all you care about right now is one gear for the 4 MP. The second gear adds 250% move damage, but he doesn't have good move damage, so it's not important. Now, if it was me, what I would have done this year is added a third gear for the whales to chase that was 200% gem damage on top of the rework. That's what I would have done. Then everyone would be like, oh, I need all 3 gears. But right now, don't even worry about the second gear. Maybe they add that later next year or something. Right now, all you care about is 1 gear. It's, what is it? I think it's 5 or 7 turkeys on the prize wall if you particularly care about it. The golden turkeys. Anyway, moves. Potato Masher. This is a rework one. Deals 0 damage, steal up to we'll call it 8.9 million health. Cranberry Punch. Notice 0 damage. That's why we don't care about the move damage. Cranberry Punch, 5 MP, 865k damage, 2x2 area into 3 turn countdown gems. This was made 3 turn. I think it was 4 or 5. That will make 10 random gems into blue gems when activated. So it's only a 2x2 area. You can't make it bigger. That's important because a ton of plates won't work on him. Sadly, they didn't make this a 3x3 area. And 3 turns, if they had done that, he would also be significantly better. Like significantly better with that one small change, just so you had more plate options. Right now, you have almost no plate options. We'll talk about that more. And then Dark Meat, 1 MP, 32k damage, and decrease your countdown gem timers by 3. So this is the first moveset we're going to run with. It's Health Steal. Because Lawler loads the Cranberry Punch. The other 2 are 1 MP, so they're loaded. And then we got Lawler for 200%, Zombie Brian for 31, and what's his face here, Nakamura for 100%. Now, if you don't have Zombie Brian, you would just use, honestly, some blue gem damage. It's not going to do a hill of amount of beans, but, you know, whoever you want for that. But I'll just show you. His health steal would go down to 35 million from 38 million. So you're not losing that much, really. In the grand scheme of things, he's not a big deal. But anyway, this is the worst. Without gear, this is absolutely less good. But let's take a look and I'll show you. Also, no plates really that are going to do anything for you. You could use, theoretically, you could use a Z plate and get 50% gem damage, which would do minor, and then some gem defense. But the problem is you're not going to get a big pin with this because you're not buffing any gem damage significantly. So you're basically just blowing up the board. You could add a purple Royal Rumble or a blue and get more damage. We're not buffing the blue right now, so I would purples as primary. So you can see we did 8 million gem, right? So he's probably going to kick out. Yeah. So it's just not good enough to even run this without the gear. And if this was a 3x3 area, you could use a Judgment Day plate, drain their health, and then take 2 cycles and win every time. That would have made a lot more sense to me to make this 3x3 area. I guess they didn't want you to be able to use the hard times plate, which adds 100% blue gem damage, which still wouldn't make him OP. But that's a big miss by Scopely there. That one little change would make him much more usable and enjoyable to play. And because it's an unblockable, not really, it's basically an unblockable moveset. If they had done that, you wouldn't care necessarily that it was 2 turns, right? Because you just drain them, then get your next turn, then go in again. And that would by no means make him OP, and not everyone has a Judgment Day plate anyway. So that's, I think, a change that they should have made, personally, but that's okay. Now, if you have the gear, you take Lawler off, and you add in Michelle McCool for another 100%. Gets the health steal up to 47 million, which is still not enough to zero anyone. Still wouldn't make him OP if a Judgment Day plate worked. And then like adding a Rumble just basically not quite double your damage, like 75% your gem. So he's doing like 8 million. Figure like 15 million gem damage with this with a Rumble. So you still wouldn't even zero a striker, let alone with feud buffs and that kind of thing, right? So this doesn't really work. It's a cool health steal. It's big. It's low charge, so I get the attraction, right? It's very cool. But it just doesn't do quite really enough, right? So I'm not going to bother with any plates for that because I just don't see the point personally. Now, oops, that's in the wrong spot. That goes here. All right. Now, for the other move that got buffed, and this is how I think most people will run him. Right here. The other move that got the buff love is Stuffing a Buster. 6 MP blue. 91k damage, increase your blue gem damage by 235% for 2 turns. It's nice it's 2 turns. And also nice 235% is decent. Not amazing, but decent. So we can work with that. So if you don't have the gear, we're going to use Hall of Fame McCool. Because she gives 2 blue MP, 40% rainbow, and some health. And then Lawler gets you all charged up with 1 to spare with your turn. 40% from Gunther, 40% rainbow from Stunning Steve. Pretty straightforward, right? This is very nice gameplay loop here, though. And again, keep in mind, like, there's really no reason not to have made it 3x3 and let plates work on it. Because then you could use the hard times plate and get 100% increased gem damage. It still wouldn't put him over the top crazy. It's 50% over a Z plate. But again, it would allow the Royal Rumble or the Judgment Day plate to proc, right? And you can see very easy gameplay loop and decent-ish damage, but still 40 million, right? Not really super crazy. I think everyone would agree, yes. We'll put some plates on in a minute. Because there are some plates that definitely help him. Like the Blue Royal Rumble specifically. Now, if you have the gear, very simple change. I'm just throwing Julius Creed on here because he adds 60% blue gem damage, right? So we're getting an extra 60%. That's a very small change with the gear, but you also don't need an MP trainer, which is quite nice. Also, it's just kind of fun to use the bird because he looks ridiculous. So I do kind of wish they had the Judgment Day plate thing able to work, because then I would throw that on him and just 2-turn use the health steal because it would be humorous to me. Again, 35 million. We didn't really do any better because there wasn't a lot of blues on the board. You might also consider to always make sure you get a full board because you're only making 40 gems. So if there's 9 or more, it's a board full. Average is 7 ish, 6 to 7. So it's usually most of the board, but that was a particularly bad one. You could consider swapping one of the zombie who's blue, which is right here, not zombie Ray, zombie Dom, who everybody would have, then you'd always get a board full, right? So you could consider this swap as well. And I'll show you what it is, losing the 40%, but gaining a whole board every time for sure. Yeah, I really feel like this should have also been increased to 3x3. And you can see we get a whole board and 41 million. So obviously not crazy before plates, right? All right. So, and you can also see basically other than saving an MP trainer, the gear really isn't a big deal, in truth. Now, saving an MP trainer, we can all agree, is nice. Also, when there's Voldemort tours, Steel Cage tours, obviously it's nice when you can't use trainers, but you can use gear. But I mean, those don't happen that often, right? So it just, it is, it is what it is. Anyway, for plates, he's making countdowns. So if you type in countdown, countdown, you can see these would be our options. Hard times is what we'd want for 100% gem, but we don't make 6, so we can't. This is the wrong color and also 6, and this is the wrong color and also 6. So it's only Z plate, which increases your gem damage by 50% and reduces your opponent's gem damage by 35%. It doesn't add enough really to make a big deal out of it, right? So I won't run it on the no gear moveset because you saw it hit similar to the gear moveset. You're basically just saving an MP trainer. So this will give you a pretty near idea what just adding this will hit. It's not a ton. And now we're up to 45 million. Still not enough, but we haven't added the Blue Royal Rumble, which is the only thing that can make him usable and does make him usable. That's why I think the Judgment Day plate would actually kind of fit in perfectly, especially with the 1 MP health steal, and would be really fun to use, actually. So, when we type in countdown, you need 6, so no Judgment Day. So we will use blue for the Blue Royal Rumble. Whenever you destroy 30 gems, generate 30 blue. And this is when it gets like, okay, I can play with him, right? If you do this. But there's some really, 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 really good spots for a Blue Royal Rumble. So this is probably not where you want to put it, unless you're a huge Gooker mark, which would be kind of interesting. That was a nice cascade. You can see 79 million. So that's usable, but not great at that point, but usable. That's why I kind of think that the 6 traps should be on the, or the 6 countdowns should be on the table, for using the other plates, right? All right, now let's do, if you don't have the gear with that, not that, this one. I'll just take Dom off. I just wanted to show you guys when you hit the whole board and also the differences and things you can do for trainers depending on how you like. Like, I like consistency, so I probably would use Dom, to be honest. Most of you probably would rather have the higher end damage most of the time. Like this time we're going to get the whole board. You're probably going to do more damage 90% of the time with the without Dom than you will with him, right? So especially with the Royal Rumble. That time we only hit 77 though, because we didn't get as nice a cascade. Oh, and we were missing the gear, right? So we gave up 60% gem damage as well, but still 77 million. So that all works. So one other thing for you guys, if you have the gear, this is kind of interesting. You can get the health steal twice if you don't cascade, and do almost 80 million in health steal, right? But there is cascade risk, but some people might like this. It's also a very small pin. If you don't zero them, you're hosed. But I figured it was worth showing. The other thing is Gooker would be a tour monster because of the 1 MP health steal. He's just going to steal that health every single time, right? So he would be a tour monster for any harder tours that were open. But usually, you know, there's CSS, so realistically, that's not a thing most of the time. But obviously, that's quite nice at 1 MP. All right, and we're going to go with this set, and then I'm going to put woods in. So the gear gives you 4 MP, and woods gives you 4 black MP, so that gives us the 8 we need to load the 2x3. Swap a 2x3 area into purple gems, which reloads the health steal. So we can do 38 million twice, so 78 mil health steal. And if you don't cascade, it moves the pin bar perfect amount. You can cascade 3 gems, but if you don't, it moves the pin bar a perfect amount to win as long as you zero them. Right? So boom, you can see we'll move the pin bar right there. And when their health is zeroed, a 3 match moves at 6 notches, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's always going to be a pin. This is kind of in here for a bailout. The other black move, it makes a random area into traps. Won't always hit, but for some reason, say you needed to move the pin bar more. Sammy, of course, reverse traps. You could throw it out. You could see there it wouldn't have made a difference, right? Because it wasn't on anything I could swipe. But that's kind of like a bailout potential. And now I'm probably going to lose this, maybe. Not lose it, but take a little longer because we can't move the pin bar enough because I wanted to show you the traps. But you get the idea, right? This is fine, sub, then we'll swipe and win. So you get the idea for the moveset. Oops, we don't need to do that. And I'll just run it one more time without the showing the potential for the other thing to bail you out, which doesn't always work. Because it has to randomly land on the right spot. Now that trap move is kind of interesting, but there's nothing it can work with at 2x2. Also, that one shouldn't be buffed at least very much because then you can start using jackets and the Tama plate and all kinds of potential maybe to do interesting things. If they moved it up to 8, then you could use the anniversary plate, and then with the gear, you could use this potentially and get some big multiplies out, and it could be fun. So that one I wouldn't touch, but the countdown move, I think they should really make it 3x3. Small complaint. But he's still usable this way, and it's a nice buff. But he's not going to be like a top-end fighter or anything. But he's definitely usable. And I'm just glad they decided to buff him a little bit. There's that. Pop the health steal again, swipe and win. And that's really why I think the Judgment Day plate would be fun. Just health steal, countdowns, and then, you know, health steal, countdowns, just keep recycling that. 2 cycle wins would be really quite fun and worth being a little bit slower because of the defensive nature, the healing, the draining the MP sort of thing. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the showcase. That's the rework Gooker. Certainly a million times better than he was. He's actually usable now if you have a Royal Rumble plate with or without the gear, but you're really going to want the Royal Rumble plate. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Other than that, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Yeah, it's a solid rework. I'm good with it. You know, it's a surprise one, a nice little bonus. Also, that's why I would add a third gear that added 200% gem damage too. Give the whales something to spend for and chase, and then, you know, still wouldn't make them super OP, but it would be a solid ad, I think.